Good evening, everybody. Sorry, a bit of a holdup while we lined the students up out back there. Welcome to Veterans Memorial Stadium, the 2020 North Quincy High School commencement ceremony. Tonight we celebrate the 87th class to graduate from North Quincy High School. It will be a special night as we recognize the achievements of this special class, celebrate this important milestone in their lives, and reflect on the promise of the great things they will accomplish. Before we bring them forth, you see them coming behind me. I got to review a few important details given the unique circumstances of this year's ceremony. As you know, your seats were pre-selected and are placed appropriate distance apart from other guests, so please don't move to empty seats as we would then be out of compliance with appropriate distancing. Also, please bear with us as we did not hold a rehearsal. We typically do that with the students the week before, so I'll need to issue some directions to them that ordinarily would have been handled at that rehearsal. So bear with us as we do those at different times during the ceremony. After we award the diplomas, I'll invite the class president to lead the class in the changing of tassels. This will be followed by the school song played by the band over in that end zone to your right. And we'll ask that you remain in your position while that school song is played. And we will dismiss everyone in groups in order to prevent overcrowding at the gates. So we'll issue directions for exiting at the end of the ceremony. So we thank you in advance for working with us to ensure a safe environment for all. So now I invite you to stand, welcome and celebrate North Quincy High School's class of 2020, led by valedictorian Kaylin Chan, salutatorian Abigail Durr, and class president Ashley Caldwell. Now the presentation of the colors by the North Quincy High School Color Guard under the direction of Major Greg Jones. Please join us in a moment of silence. Tonight we remember our friend, colleague, and teacher, Mr. Richard Keneally, a North Quincy graduate, our band and music teacher for many years. Mr. Keneally was a key part of commencement ceremonies just like this one for the last 3 decades. I also invite you to remember all others whom you choose to remember this evening. Thank you. Now our national anthem, performed by the North Quincy Combined Band. Thank you. We can be seated. And welcome the salutatorian of North Quincy High School's class of 2020, Abigail Durr.
Good evening, family and friends, staff, distinguished guests, Mayor Koch, and the class of 2020. Welcome to our graduation. It's been quite a while since our class has been all together in one place, and quite frankly, I wasn't sure we ever would be again. But I'm glad that we've been given this last opportunity to meet for our final moments together as students of North Quincy High. Our graduation today is a grand ceremonious symbol of the end of our high school careers. Roughly 13 years, all culminating to this very day, where we finally receive our diplomas and become free to begin a new chapter in our lives. Wherever life takes us in the future, we will all share in the mutual responsibility of making our world a better place and tackling the problems that exist in society today. Each of us has the ability to make a meaningful impact, whether it be through protesting, voting, volunteering, educating, listening, speaking up for yourself and those around you, or any number of other actions. If or when you do these things, and even just in your daily lives, I'd like to remind you to think and remember to be kind. What's missing in the hearts of far too many people today is a little thing called compassion. And too many people suffer from this inability to care and commiserate with others. The damage caused by this apathetic indifference is blatantly and painfully clear. It manifests itself in the form of things like not wearing a mask in public at appropriate times, or being complicit in watching the suffering of another human being. So now and in the future, I implore you to try to care. Care about communities and people and their lives and experiences. Even if they're strangers, even if you won't benefit, and even if it's hard to do so. I know that compassion is not the solution to all the world's problems, but I believe it's a good place to start. So class of 2020, congratulations. We've come a long way and we've worked hard to get here. Good luck out there, make yourselves proud, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Abigail. Abigail will be attending Tufts University this fall. Mayor Koch, Vice Chair Andronico, and members of the school committee, President Liang and members of the City Council, other elected officials, Interim Superintendent Mulvey, Quincy College President and former Superintendent DeCristofaro, faculty and staff of North Quincy High School, parents and families, and of course graduates of our class of 2020. In keeping with the guidelines issued by the state for graduation ceremonies this summer, I will follow the advice of Franklin Roosevelt, who said, "Be sincere, be brief, be seated." But before I sit, at long last, I'm happy to say to you, welcome to the commencement exercises for 2020, and say to this very special class, congratulations. Like 86 classes before you, you're here to be honored and celebrated by the faculty and staff of North Quincy High, the leaders of Quincy Public Schools in this city, and your parents and families. It's a moment you deserve and have earned. You deserve this moment as the culmination of your hard work over many years. You may be one of our smallest classes in a few years, but you have matched or surpassed all the rest in what you have accomplished and in particular endured. You've earned this moment through your patience, especially these last few months, as all of us contend with complex changes to the most basic elements of our lives. In many graduation speeches, you might hear a line like, "You've been through so much to get this moment." It would sound like a throwaway line, but in this instance, nothing could be more true. As it does every year, this ceremony marks a moment of transition for each of you individually as you make the move from one stage of your lives to the next. In this instance, you're doing this in a wider context of social, cultural, and political uncertainty and complexity. The world is in transition too, and these are life-changing and culture-shifting times in which we find ourselves. Robert Kennedy once said, "All of us might wish at times that we lived in a more tranquil world, but we don't. And if our times are difficult and perplexing, so are they challenging and filled with opportunity." As I think about Kennedy's words, and I think about our world and its difficulties, its complexities, its perplexities, I am drawn to his use of the word opportunity. This word is at the heart of what I believe to be the most fundamental part of North Quincy High School's mission, to create opportunities for every one of its students. Each one of you is on a path to somewhere. Your destinations are wide-ranging, diverse, and unknown. The diploma you will receive momentarily will help you define those paths and give shape to them. It will give you the power to recognize and seize opportunities along those paths, especially in a complex world. So tonight, thankful that we have this opportunity to be together and bring you together. I'm also thankful to you for being patient, for being strong, for being among the best students and people we've had the pleasure to work with at NQHS. Now it's my pleasure to introduce your class president of the class of 2020, Ashley Caldwell.
Good evening. No, I'm sorry. Mask. Can't. Good evening, class of 2020, friends and family, faculty and staff, and our elected officials. I'm so excited we're finally here together to celebrate our graduation. I've had a lot of time to reflect on our 4 years here at North. Some of my highlights have been both participating and spectating with many of you in sports, musicals, tug-of-wars, homecoming dances, and of course, one of my favorite memories was watching Mikey Levine walk down the bleachers, wipe out at a volleyball game. For some of you, M-ball, drill competitions, band and choir concerts, and spending times in clubs will be what you remember the most. Regardless of what your memories will be in high school, we all can agree we taught countless lessons in our classrooms. We also learned real-life lessons as we navigated through our 4 years together. I'd like to share with you a few lessons that I learned. Lesson 1, life has its highs, but it also has its lows. When tragedy hits, it is easier to face it together. It was during some of the most difficult times that I was able to see our community draw together. We adopted phrases to rally behind. Phrases like, because nice matters, and Connor Strong will always hold a special place in my heart. To paraphrase Nobel Prize winner Albert Schweitzer, sometimes our light goes out, but it can be reignited by each other. My hope for all of you is that you will surround yourself with people that will help ignite your flame when life has dimmed it. Lesson 2, choose joy. Don't confuse this with happiness. Happiness is an emotion linked to events that happen to us. Joy is more consistent and is cultivated internally. As the Dutch theologian Henry Nouwen once said, joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day. I would like to thank my parents for modeling this for me and encourage all of you to choose joy each day. Lesson 3, be grateful for relationships. I feel truly blessed for all my friendships and experiences we have had over the last 4 years. To those of you that I've had the privilege of calling my friend, thank you. I'm also grateful for the teachers who cared for us beyond the classroom. Teachers like Miss Gainey, Miss Holland, Mr. Lannon, Mr. Joseph, and Miss Walsh. Thank you for caring for me. I'm sure if my classmates could speak right now, many others would be mentioned. I'd like to make a special shout out to Dr. Yakubian, who has been in contact with me throughout the year and supports the students of North Quincy each year. He continually told me, adversity is what makes us stronger, so we should never run away from it. And what I've discovered is, if you have developed great relationships, you will be more prepared to face that adversity. Lesson 4, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I spent the last 3 years reading your morning announcements, and each day we start with a moment of silence. As my final announcement, I'd like to change that moment to a moment of thanks. Looking into the stands, there are heroes among us. I'm talking about our parents and guests who are healthcare providers like Matt McGordy, Bridget Duggan, and Bridget Flynn's mom. And first responders like Olivia Fitzpatrick, Shannon Boylan, and Mikey Levine's dads. And teachers like Stanley Chen, Matt Scanlon, and my dad. One thing I've learned during this COVID-19 period is that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. And if you're in the stands today, you all are heroes. Now comes the difficult part. Class of 2020, we need new heroes in our world. You need to be the next nurses, teachers, laborers, politicians, and more. One of you needs to figure out a vaccine for the next pandemic. We cannot stay in these seats forever. We need to be the future, and the future needs us. As Dr. Yakubian would tell you, make us proud. Class of 2020, you are forever in my heart and my prayers. I love you, and for one last time, go Raiders!
Thank you, Ashley. Ashley will be attending Eastern Nazarene College this fall. It's now my privilege to present the Honorable Thomas P. Cope, Mayor of the City of Quincy and proud graduate of North Quincy High School, class of 1981.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, Superintendent Mulvey, President DeCristofaro, Council President Nina Liang, Vice Chair of the School Committee Anthony Andronico, my colleagues in government, and the faculty and staff of North Quincy High School, to the families of our graduates, and certainly to our graduates. It's a pleasure for me to be here, representing the City of Quincy, and congratulating each of you. A little late for your typical graduation, but nonetheless, we are here. So we're very proud of each of you and all your accomplishments. I know some of you probably joined us in kindergarten, and perhaps some joined along the way in middle school, or even perhaps your time at North was first in the school system. Nonetheless, along the way, the teachers, the guidance counselors, administrators, coaches, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, custodians, everybody worked very hard on your behalf for tonight. So I know they share in the great pride that your family has tonight with your graduating. Reverend John Hancock was a pastor at the First Parish Church, the father of patriot John Hancock. He said, above all things, put on charity. This is the bond of perfectness, the bond of union, the cement of societies. Abraham Lincoln said, with malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, and God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we were in. For those of you familiar with the Rosary, at the start of the Rosary, one prays for an increase in charity. So what does that mean, the charity John Hancock was speaking of and Abraham Lincoln was speaking of? It's not about dropping a coin in at the Salvation Army kettle or putting in a cup for a homeless person. Those things are charitable works. But the term charity comes from the Latin, and some of you Latin folks here would know, caritas. In the meaning of caritas, which charity comes from, means love, to love all. We're all part of the same human family. So I encourage you in all your future endeavors, wherever you end up, whatever you are going to be, please show the rest of the world how to love. God bless and good luck.
Next, please welcome Mr. Anthony Andronico, Vice Chair of the Quincy School Committee, North Quincy High School, class of 2011.
Good evening to North Quincy High School, class of 2020, to our esteemed and socially distant guests who have joined us in person, and to all of the additional family and friends who are watching at home. I'm truly honored to be here today to join in your celebration, and I know my colleagues on the school committee feel the same way. I'd just like to take a brief moment to introduce my colleagues who are here with us tonight. We have Paul Bergoli, class of 1966, Kathy Hubley, and Frank Santoro, class of 1967. So, congratulations, you did it. Not only have you graduated, but you graduated during a pandemic. And I hope the magnitude of this accomplishment is not lost on you. I'm certain that this wasn't how you envisioned the ending of your Quincy Public Schools career. Learning entirely online, canceled proms, sporting events, senior trips, clubs, not to mention a significantly delayed graduation and a fundamental change in how we live everyday life. You know, the other day I was trying to think of some positive moments that had happened in 2020 before everything had shut down, and there was one experience that had really stood out to me. It was a day that I attended the QPS 5th grade Student Leadership Summit in February. That day I got the chance to listen to our 5th graders talk about their perspective on what it meant to be a leader. And they had some very straightforward takeaways that I think that as we get older, sometimes we forget. And I think it's time that we just had a reminder of what we teach in the earlier grades. Be kind, be a good listener, be a helper, and be positive. What they had reminded me that day is that being a leader doesn't have an age requirement, it's not exclusive to gender, a race, or a particular religious belief. And it turns out, if you follow their advice and choose to become a leader, you can transform your classroom, your school, and even your city into something much greater than that. It's a community. In a community, you care about and respect each other. You work to embrace those who are new and different than you, and you know that you can rely on each other when times get tough. I hope all of you know that Quincy is your community and will always be here for you. We're incredibly proud of you, and don't forget to build a community wherever you go. To the class of 2020, congratulations. Thank you.
Please welcome Ms. Nina Liang, President of the Quincy City Council.
Class of 2020, on behalf of the Quincy City Council, I would like to share my deepest and most heartfelt congratulations. We have with us today at-large Counselor Ann Mahoney, at-large Counselor Noel DeBona, Ward 5 Counselor Chuck Phelan, Ward 1 Counselor Dave McCarthy, and Ward 6 Counselor Bill Harris. Sending their regards are Ward 2 Counselor Brad Kroll, Ward 3 Counselor Ian Kane, and Ward 4 Counselor Brian Palmucci. From our state delegation, we have with us Senator John Keenan, North Quincy graduate, class of 1982. Today is an important milestone for you and for your family. Today, you begin the work of writing the next chapter of your life, filled with challenges and opportunities. But you are ready, and you will succeed. Bác nhập lệ, sẽ ngọt mòn phí xế đôi gan, ở nhất sinh trân trọng, so nhất sinh chúc phật, cảm ơn ngọt nè phụ mù, cảm ơn mọi người lô su. Over the course of your education, you have learned far more than math, history, and science. You have learned important lessons and skills that will serve you in the years ahead. Don't get me wrong, math, science, history, all of the courses that you studied in the classroom are valuable, but your education extends far beyond the lab books and research papers. You have learned how to live with each other. You have learned how to treat others with respect and value, how to hear those with different opinions, how to welcome others from different backgrounds and traditions than your own, how to listen when someone speaks a different language. The ability to see the world beyond your home is an important skill. It is one that our community represents and not too many others can claim. It is one of the qualities that makes our hometown special and great. It is one of the qualities that gives each and every single one of you the opportunity to be great. And while it may be difficult for some of you to see today, with everything that's going on in the world and in our communities, these opportunities are limitless for each and every single one of you. Whether your next opportunity is to begin your own career, serve our country, or continue your education, take hold of it knowing that it is your opportunity to explore. Each graduation is faced with its own challenges. My graduating class was met with the worst economic recession since the Depression. Homes were foreclosed and savings were lost. But from those challenges, we did more than recover. We thrived. Some went to college, some went to serve our country, and others to begin their careers. Some started businesses, and others started their own families. And we all worked to achieve more and to do our part in leaving things better for the generation that follows. Trust me, we're still working on it. Looking at your graduating class, I am endlessly hopeful that our better days are still ahead of us. I started my service on the City Council your freshman year, and I've seen firsthand your impact on shaping our community over the years. From the science festivals, the annual Thanksgiving football games, the ROTC competitions, to the unmatched band performances in our parades, organizing festivals across our city, losing a Super Smash Bros. Tournament to some of you, and much more. I have been and continue to be inspired by you and your commitment to give back, to do more, and to be more. Look around to your fellow classmates, to your teachers, your mentors, your families, and your friends. They are your inspiration, but more importantly, you are theirs. Greatness is what happens when we are tested and rise to meet the challenge. 2020 is giving us all that chance, the opportunity to show our greatness. You have worked so hard to graduate today. You have faced unprecedented challenges and have prevailed. Be proud of what you have conquered. My colleagues on the council and I certainly are. We've seen you prevail even through all of the unknowns. And today, you stand ready to make the most of your tomorrows, ready with the foundation of the education that you worked so hard to achieve, ready with the love and support of your family, friends, and a community that has always been rooted in holding each other up, ready with the hope and inspiration that you have given us all today to tackle the challenges we face and do more, do better, and be the change that we need in this world that I've seen all of you be for us here in this city. Hey Monet, tôi thanet gan sangang lu xiang, ye thanet hoiti, thanet hiam, yat lu sun feng, they hang goi for yun feng. Congratulations, class of 2020. Now is your time.
I want to take a moment now to thank some organizations and individuals who played very important roles in making sure this ceremony could happen tonight. I'll go through a number here. The Quincy Parks Department, led by Commissioner David Murphy. The Boston Cannons, especially Team President Ian Furnett and Director of Ticket Sales Griffin Kirkwood. Kevin Murphy and all of the QPS maintenance staff. QPS Executive Director of Career and Technical Education and Community Partnerships, Keith Segala. QPS Coordinator of Custodians, Kevin Segala, and all of his custodial staff. NQHS Administrative Assistants, Carol Clooney and Patricia Maggio. NQ Teacher, Jessica Flaherty. Dean of Students for the Class of 2022, Mr. Peter Chisholm Jr. Assistant to the Superintendent for Communications and Operations, Laura Owens. All of the QPS volunteers working tonight at the gates and in the stands. And my counterpart from Quincy High School, Mr. Larry Taglieri, who I wish the best for a double feature tomorrow. We are joined this evening by a number of special guests, some of whom have played, or many of whom have played in significant roles during your years in the Quincy Public Schools. Joining me on the platform, President of Quincy College and former Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Richard Cristofaro. Out there on the field, Assistant Principal Helena Skinner. Also on the field, Dean of Students for the Class of 2020, Susan Nash, whom we wish all the best as tonight she sees off her final graduating class. Other guests seated in the area behind me, we welcome all of the members of the superintendent's leadership team and welcome all the faculty of North Quincy High School who have come tonight. I invite them to stand and all the rest of us to recognize them for their hard work and dedication to this school and its families. Thank you. Now, please welcome the valedictorian of the class of 2020, Kaylin Chan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kaylin Chan, and it is my privilege to speak to you today, to share my reflections on our time together and our journey ahead. To my fellow graduates, in just 4 short years, look at how much we learned, how much we've changed, and how far we've come. When we first started our high school journey, we knew so little about ourselves, about each other, and about the world. Thinking about the future only extended to what we would have for dinner and what we'd do the next day. In just a few years' time, however, we've gained the confidence and the knowledge to be able to take control of planning our futures. In addition to teaching us math and English, high school has taught us the lessons we need to be able to successfully navigate the next chapter of our lives. The other day, I found a 30-year-old book in my dad's office. Some of you may know it. It's called All I Really Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten. Apparently, it was pretty popular back when it was published. In the book, the author talks about the lessons he learned in kindergarten that have helped him throughout life. For example, share everything, play fair, don't hit people, and one I'm especially fond of, take a nap every afternoon. Today, I'd like to tell you that all I really need to know, I learned in high school. Here are the things I learned. Don't procrastinate, especially on those chem labs and history DBQs. Always get enough sleep so you don't fall asleep during physics. Try new things, new clubs, new sports, new classes. Don't forget to have a little fun, go to all the dances, and venture outside your comfort zone. But there were more important things too. Lessons that will remain with us and guide us for the rest of our lives. First, it's okay to make mistakes. A bad test score, a science project gone wrong, a fumbled ball, a fight with a friend. High school taught us that it's okay to fail as long as we get back up and learn from it. Second, nothing is more important than our relationships. Remember to surround yourself with your people, the people who make you happy, the people who inspire you to be a better person, the people who have stuck with you throughout this incredible journey. I'm so grateful for the support from my friends, the advice from my teachers, and the unconditional love from my mom and dad. I couldn't have done this without them. Third, there's more than one definition of success. As we move forward, some of us will be entering the military, some the workforce, and some college, each towards our own path of success. We are all unique, so our goals and journeys will be unique as well. The important thing is that we are true to ourselves and that we support one another in reaching our full potential. Fourth, speak up for what you believe in. In light of recent events, I'm glad many of us have found our voice to speak up for Black lives, to defend human rights, and to fight racism and discrimination. We have to continue to do so now and in the future. The fight doesn't stop here. Fifth, and most importantly, never stop learning and growing. Always strive to be better, to be more kind, more attentive, more patient, and more helpful. Learning doesn't stop once you're out of school, and growing doesn't stop even when you're 5 feet tall like me. Thank you to everyone who helped me learn these lessons throughout high school. Thank you to the teachers, faculty, and community of North Quincy High for creating such a supportive environment for us to learn in. And thank you, class of 2020, for being the best class ever. The path forward will not be easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. No matter what lies ahead, we will find a way to get through it together and come out with so much more strength than we imagined. After all we really need to know, we learned in high school. Congratulations, class of 2020, we made it.
Thank you, Kaylin. Kaylin will be attending Cornell University this fall. Now, please welcome the interim superintendent of Quincy Public Schools, Mr. Kevin Mulvey, North Quincy High School class of 1991.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Before I begin my remarks, I do want to thank the mayor of the city of Quincy, Mr. Bergoli, all the members of the Quincy School Committee, including Dr. Cristofaro, who made this night possible for you. Their support was instrumental in having this night tonight. So if we could have a round of applause for all of them. Thank you. Graduates, on behalf of the superintendent's leadership team and myself, I want to congratulate you and your families on your great accomplishment of graduating from the Quincy Public Schools. You have overcome the unthinkable, a pandemic that society has not seen in over 100 years. And regardless of this enormous challenge, you have succeeded, and today commemorates that success. You are the mighty class of 2020, the class that defines perseverance. Perseverance is the relentless attempt to achieve success and accomplish your desired goals. You achieve not simply by trying, but by persevering. This is characterized by 3 traits which are keys to unlocking the doors to success. 1, never giving up. 2, not being limited by time constraints. And 3, staying rooted in the confidence that success is inevitable if you continue to make a concerted effort to attain it. You have done all of these things, and in doing so have better prepared yourself for future adversity. Nothing is insurmountable as long as you retain the perseverance that you exhibited during this unprecedented time. You will forever be known as the class that persevered and succeeded in spite of very trying circumstances. Be proud of this moment. You earned it, and I know you will carry it with you throughout your life. Again, congratulations, and I wish you all a safe and prosperous future. Thank you. Mayor Koch, Vice Chair Andronico, and members of the Quincy School Committee, I am pleased and honored as Superintendent of Schools in this great city to inform you that the graduates assembled before you have fulfilled all requirements of the Quincy School Committee. Therefore, at this time, I recommend to you that they be graduated from the Quincy Public Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Mulvey. We are now ready to award diplomas to the class of 2020, but a few instructions for the graduates, which we couldn't do at a rehearsal, so bear with me for a moment. So our staff members on the field around you will direct you out of your rows so you know which way you're going to approach the front over there where the diplomas are. As you make your way from your seat to the diploma table, you'll see a bit of a path marked for places where you can stop to leave distance between yourselves and the students ahead of you. So stand next to them as opposed to on them. When you get to be first in line, just up to the right of that red table up there, you'll hear Mrs. Skinner will call your name. If it's not your name that you hear called, don't worry, we'll work it out and make sure we get you. You'll come across towards where I'm standing on the other side of that podium. You'll see your diploma with your name on it in the lower corner. I'll point at it just in case. You take it, you go. I say congratulations. That's kind of the process we've worked out for tonight. Once you've got to the other side, you've got a picture taken. You'll have a moment there if you like. You can pull your mask down where the photographer will be able to take the picture of you as you come by. Quincy cable camera set up as well. And then you'll follow staff members' directions back to your row in your seat. So, Mrs. Skinner, if you will come to the podium here, I will head down there, and we will award diplomas to the class of 2020.
Valedictorian Kaylin May Chan, National Honor Society. Salutatorian Abigail Durr, National Honor Society, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Student Council, Ashley Laura Caldwell, President. Brendan Lee, Vice President. Jackson Zhao, Secretary, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Michael Thomas Levine, Treasurer. National Honor Society, Serena Chow. Cormac James Flaherty. Jordan Duivohan. Jasmine Harbarapa, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Aaron Hung. Ruhui Hung. Jackie Lamb, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Maya Han Lee, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Shane Lurkvakorn, Wayne Ro Lin, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Jessica Liu, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Sarah Claire Pallone, Joanna Sitow, Alicia Tai Tran, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Tuen Tran, Jin Yao Wang, Amanda M. Wong, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Wen Bin Wu, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Jenny Zhang. Ariba Asan. David Alsep. Macarena Arue Riofrio. Philip Bryden Austin, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Adnane Richard Bago. Essie Belico. Evan Bentley. Shannon Barbara Boylan. Jared William Bragdon. Jean Michael Brito Lopez. Rachel Karen Capone. Alex Ismail Castellanos. James Daniel Cawley. Amanda Yan Chan. Lydia Hannah Chan. Charlie Nok Chow. Raymond Xuan Chow. Arlena Chen. Daniel Chen. Junkyu Chen. Shirley Chen, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Stanley Chen. Shi Chen. Xing Yan Chen. Yi Fei Chen, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Yo-Yo Ying Yao Chen. Robert Glenn Chin. Chun Wei Chu. Tiffany Chu. Brian Jing Chum. Amy Christina Cluitt. Alexa Janine Cohen. Dylan Connors. Michael Matthew Costello. Ian David Creeman. Shwana Cooney. Nalani Brianna DePina. Joey Deep, Kitty Hawk Air Society. Kevin Din. Benjamin Dang Doe. Jenny Doe. Kaylee Lynn D'Onofrio. Michael Francis Dooley. Kitty Ann Lendy Dubuisson. Audrey Douglas. Liam Michael Dugan. Bridget Ellen Duggan. Jithea Duca. Mariah Nicole Everett Ortiz. Jordan Fang. Olivia Jane Fitzpatrick. Bridget Noreen Flynn. Zhang Tap Fong. Chen Lu Gao. Jane Gao. Kyle Gassenheimer. Michael Sean Astral Gordon. Andrew Christopher Gott. Telemachos Theodoros Grigoriadis. Amaryllis Gu. Kitty Hawk Air Society. Jack Lawrence Gurwitch, Andrew Thomas Haley, Newa Adel Hamad, Yishuan He, Amanda Jo Helmuth, Adam Matthew Higgins, Shin Yu Hu, Aaron Si Hang Huang, Jack Ying Fong Huang, Sandy Huang, William Huang, Nathaniel Allen Hubley, Tori Grace Ingram, Joshua Joseph Jackson, Gina Jiang, Phoebe Isabel Johnston, Mairead Kelly, Trent Scott Korjinska, Olga Kuzinski, Connor Nugent Kulig, Y. Lam Christy Kwong, Stephen La, Anna Lai, Ava Francis Lapsley, Priscilla Lau, Serena Lau, Kitty Hawk Air Society, John Van Lee, Noah Lee, Tommy Quang Lee, Aaron Leon, Daniel Patrick Levine, Jack Lee, Jenny Lee, John Wen Lee, Tyler Lee, Yong Yu Lee, Kitty Hawk Air Society, Jing Wen Liang, Taylor Bella Liang, Angelo Las Librea, Alice Lynn, Kitty Hawk Air Society, Michelle Lin, Wei Cheng Lin, Shin Kai Lin, Zian Lin, Winston Liu, Anastasia Luong, Boy Liu, Wen Yin Ma, Patrick James McMillan, Rory Catherine Mahoney, Kiwen Mai, Patrick Robert Marshall, Justin Joseph McDavitt, Peyton Joseph McGaffigan, Elizabeth McGough, Matthew Joseph McGordy, Jackson Brian McMahon, Michael Wei May, Richard John Myrna, David S. Morales, Catherine Mary Moriarty, Delaney Eve Murphy, Olivia Ortiz Murray, Hannah Elizabeth Myers, Melissa Catherine Myers, Brandon Nguyen, Christina Ngoc Nguyen, Edwin Nguyen, Kenny Nguyen, Tony Nguyen, Shane O'Connell, Aoife Yvonne Donovan, Denise Grace O'Donovan, Emily Elizabeth O'Malley, Emily O'Regan, Pablo Sebastian Ochoa Gonzalez, Xiao Hung Oh, Michael Anthony Palmer, Srijana Panam, Damian Papagiani, Olivia Lee Peluso, Dakota Pendleton, Chow Pham, Karen Fung, Kitty Hawk Air Society, Amanda Rose Condon Powers, Jack Christopher Pritchard, Alexa Kelly Radzik, Shanhao Ren, Marissa Ann Riley, Sarah Elizabeth Grissom, Courtney Hegarty Ross, Catherine Marissa Scanlon, Matthew Francis Scanlon, Boris Selvey, John Shee, Josiah David J. Sleeper, Vicky Song, Colby St. Marie, Chang Sun, Narika Tang, Sydney Marie Taylor, Isabella Annabella Thong, Amber Beth Tran, Daisy Tran, Jessica Nguyen Tran, Adam Hoy Trong, Charles Undag, Shaylin Rose Van Gestel, Jacob Andrew Vignani, Soka Andrea Walsh, Benjamin Michael Welch, Caitlin Elizabeth Hooley, Sophie Ann Wilson, Vivian Mary Wilson, Reese M. Winter, Julie Wong, Serena Winter, Jim Will Shi Kitty Hawk Air Society, Han Shin Shi, Kathy Shu, Annie Xingyang Ying, Kelly Yi, Annie Yu, Lin Zhang, Henry Zhang, Jimmy Zhao, Xiaokong Zhen, Christine Zhang, Dao Hong Zhang, Elva Zhang, Leijin Zhang, Shu Kyun Zhang, Zhubo Zhang, Winnie Zhu, Jake Zhu, Juner Zhu, Jenny Zhuo, Kevin Zhao, Angela Zyba, and Theodora Zygoras.
All right, one more reminder to all graduates and guests, we need to dismiss kind of in smaller groups than everybody at once. But before we do that, we'll change your tassels, play the school song. So I'm going to invite Class President Ashley Caldwell to come back up one more time to lead your class in the changing of the tassels. Reminder, remain in your seats and off the field or towards the exits until after the playing of the song, and we will give you directions for the order in which we'll dismiss. So Ashley, right there.
Everyone together, let's turn the tassels from right to left. Oh gosh. Mr. DeMarco and the band, can we have the school song, please?
I can go back. Thank you, Q&Q Band. And how about one more time, a congratulations for the class of 2020. We want to thank everybody for waiting until a night that cooperated in late July, for hanging in there for us to be able to hold this ceremony and be together one last time as a class and community. So I'm going to invite the guests behind me on the platform and in the staff sections behind me to exit to our rear. And the extreme ends of the parent and guest sections up top, sections 1 and 2, 8 and 9 on those sides, you are welcome to dismiss at this time. And the back halves of the 2 student sections, sort of maybe the back 5 rows over here and the back 5 rows over here. I know it's a weird way to do it, but the only way we can. Thank you.